If your job as a trader is to find the cleanest markets, why limit the amount of assets you can look at? Read this. If your job as a trader is to find the cleanest markets, why limit the amount of assets you look at? So you just told me you look at NAS, gold, and Bitcoin. Those are the markets you trade. Now, are these three markets always tradable? No, they're not. Because no market stays in a good enough story or context to trade it forever. And if you want me to prove that to you, let me just open up Bitcoin. It's a very bullish market, but it has times like down here, like over here, and over here, where it wasn't clean and it was actually moving bearish. So for a lot of people who just want to be the Bitcoin trader and buy Bitcoin, there are areas where price action is actually very messy, very choppy, not aligned with what the higher time frame context is telling them, which is we're in a very bullish market. So if you're just the Bitcoin trader or the gold trader and you're trading gold or Bitcoin at a time where it's not clean, is it more likely that you're ending up with more losses and break evens than winners? Probably. Because when these assets turn unclear, does that mean every other asset is unclear? There's 10,000 assets. Over 10,000 assets. Why trade only 3? Why trade only 3 if your job as a trader is to find the cleanest markets possible to trade? You used to trade many pairs, but I missed a lot of setups. Okay, well, have you ever thought... So let me just... I used to trade a lot of pairs, but I missed a lot of setups. I used to trade a lot of pairs, but I missed a lot of setups. Okay. Well, are you missing setups because you're looking at too many pairs or because you're unprepared? Unprepared. Because I know traders who look at 100 assets a day and they may only take a trade on one. And you're telling me looking at maybe 10 to 20 markets is too hard because you're missing a lot of setups? Well, let me tell you another thing. Is it okay to miss setups? Yes. Because regardless of whether you're only trading 3 assets or 30 assets, you're going to miss setups regardless. Sometimes I'm waiting for one specific asset that popped up on my list for a trade that day to set up and give me my entry model. Give me my entry model. And I miss it. So did I miss it because I knew it was going to set up or potentially set up and create a trade that was available to me to enter? Or was I simply unprepared? Even though I had 30 assets on my list, right? So this is my list. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 assets on my list. And I honed in on one, and I still missed the setup because I was unprepared. So maybe the fact you're missing setups isn't due to you looking at a lot of assets. It's due to your system and actually scanning for markets, setting alerts, staying by your charts during certain hours. You only trade on New York session only. That's good. That is good. So it's good you've identified a session where you're going to be present on the charts. Because when you identify a session, you cut out a lot of time where you could potentially participate in random actions. Then I'm going to put in brackets here. The less time you spend on the charts, the better. So it's good you've identified a period of your day where you want to remain present on the charts. That is going to help you become the opposite of this. That is going to help you become prepared regardless of if you're only trading 3 assets or 20 assets. So typical me, take a screenshot of this, even though this is just my personal art that I've made for you. And just think about it. Think about this question here. If your job as a trader is to find the cleanest markets, why limit the amount of assets you can look at? And why not take 100 markets come to the conclusion that 90 of them are unclear. 10 of them could set up. One of them does set up. And you take the one trade that sets up that day, and you accept, so you accept the win, loss, or break even. And if you do that on the cleanest market possible out of all the markets you scanned, because your job as a trader is to show up to the market every single day and find the asset that sticks out that you're willing to participate in and get an entry on, then you will come to realize that maybe a small percentage of your trades will end up more in the win column than the loss or break even column. Even though a large portion of your trades, even in a clear market, will end in losses or break evens, you will be taking less unnecessary losses or break evens by having a larger market pool that you're able to dummy down into maybe a specific one or a couple specific markets that you are watching that could set up for you. So now that I started trading one session, I could start looking at more assets. Yeah, it'll definitely help you start looking at more assets. But what's going to help you as well is your process. your process for finding markets. So typical me, let's actually make a process for you right now that'll help you look at more assets and scan more assets for your next trading day, whether it's tomorrow, next week, whenever that is. So your process for finding / paying attention to more markets. Okay, so you've identified a session. So you've identified the session. You know you are trading New York. So oftentimes in the morning when you just wake up and you're groggy, maybe you had a bad sleep, you don't really want to scan through endless markets. So what are you going to do, typical me, to try and get ahead of that? Well, we could scan markets the night before. Realistically, this could take 30 minutes. So every night before the next trading day, you will scan the markets the night before for about 20 to 30 minutes. And then the goal of this process is to add or remove things to your watch list. So just with these 2 action items right here, you're already ahead of a lot of people that, one, are kind of confused or in the same boat as you, who are just looking at like one asset and praying that this asset is always in a clean environment, because you're taking the time to understand that not every asset is going to be in that clear story to be able to be traded every single day. And you're able to identify now the things you want to watch for that given day or not watch for that given day. So these 2 action items right here, huge for you, typical me. Now, that way when you wake up the next day, all you got to do, instead of searching and using that brain power you would normally use to find clear markets, that's already done. So in the morning, you can review, brackets, quickly scan the markets you choose or have chosen to watch the night before. This is just to refresh your mind on what you are actually, looking at the night before. So that way you can kind of set yourself in that mindset of, one, you were prepared the following night, and that you're going to stay prepared by putting these assets, I guess, freshly, or making them more fresh in your head. So this is another quick thing you can do in the morning. This should literally take 2 to 3 minutes, like a quick scan. When I say quick scan, I mean you already have your assets in your watch list. You're just going like, oh, yep, I know why I chose this one. Oh, yep, I know why I chose this one. This one, I know why I added it to my watch list. This one as well. Then boom, that's all you're doing. So if you screenshot this, typical me, and you can actually implement this every single day the night before and before New York Open, this is going to help you get out of the mindset that you need to just hone in on 1 to 3 assets, because from what you said, you were missing a lot of setups because it was too hard to manage. So now what we've done is we've gone ahead and we've fixed the managing portion so that you can actually focus in on the setups that actually matter. My guy. So yeah, typical me. Let me know if you have any questions on that. Let me know if that helped you. If you have any other questions, I'll go over it again. Just let me know.